Oh well, I'm gonna take my Be Real and then we can start.
Oh my god. Fucking be real, dude.
Can you
I
tag
thought
me?
I thought this died 3 years ago.
That's the introduction part.
Everyone pose.
Hello and welcome to our banter. This is our first episode after a summer break, so welcome everybody. And I'm sitting here with
Elliot.
Natalia.
And Nico.
So before the summer, we talked with Luc from EGEA, but before that, we're going to actually talk about micromobility. With micromobility, we're talking about like e-scooters. I think that's the main problem and topic. Just for clarification, but is a bike micromobility?
Yes?
Yes. And we are the best at it. There we go. Wrapped
No, but I think the Parisian way of doing it is quite sensible because they have the. You've tried the bikes there. You said that you've cycled on them.
So in Paris, they have the Velib system, which are rental bikes. I mean, most
like
cities
basically
have
city
it.
bikes, the ones with docks, and you can take them from anywhere
Yes.
and leave. Well, not anywhere, but you can take them from a docking station. They have them every
Yes.
like few hundred
So
meters.
All roads lead to Paris, I swear
All-
to God. We'll back at this again.
all roads lead to a Paris docking station for bikes.
It seems
But yeah, so they have electrical bikes, they have normal bikes. Half of them don't work, but
But the other half works.
yeah, kind of.
But I get why the Netherlands doesn't have proper city bikes, because you just have so many people cycling, it's not practical. But it's really annoying when you're visiting like a kind of a city the size of, I don't know, Eindhoven or somewhere like that, where it's not big enough to have like proper public transport, like
Yeah.
Amsterdam 15-minute trams, but it's also like walking to like a random suburb 5 kilometers away.
There is that really awkward middle ground in like cities and villages where like if it's small enough and dense enough, like you can just walk everywhere, no issue. If it's big enough, you have like all the resources and you can very efficiently build like a public transport system. But then you get like into like the medium-sized towns and a bit larger where it's like, okay, we don't really have the money to make like a bus or a tram or a network.
Oh,
but-
you'll have a bus network, but it'll
Yeah,
be like
but it's bad.
one bus every hour, maybe every half hour.
and the routes are so poorly designed.
Yeah. That's like I feel like city bikes fill a good gap in there,
That's true.
and I get why people say that electric scooters can also fill that gap, and they kind of can. But I'd say the main problems are electric scooters. You don't get the same like public health benefits because you have people on electric scooters and not actually pedaling. But also because they have tiny wheels, they're just unsafe.
I mean, yeah, and I think another like safety argument was always just they clog up the sidewalk. I mean, that's what I noticed when I was walking to school, and my municipality had these Lime bikes. Lime was the company running them at that point. Like they just hell. And if you're in a wheelchair,
Yeah, you can't get around.
You can't get around, and your road is then bricks or like pavement.
You could argue just that, like, do the same as city bikes, build docking stations, but since electric scooters are all in the private sector,
I mean, you could
they're
do that,
not
but
going
then
to do that. That's more money they have to spend. They're not going to gain from it.
But I mean, that's what they've done now with the bikes here in Groningen, the green bikes. They have hubs, small areas where you need to park the bike.
Green bikes?
I know which ones you're talking about.
Green,
but I
almost falling apart every time I see them.
Is it like Felix?
Oh, yeah, something like that. The bikes are like lemon greenish with black. They always fall apart. Like they always sound like they're falling apart, and they look really shit. But they
Hey.
have hub
Wait.
areas.
That it just sounds like you're describing my bike now.
I was going to say that you're describing your old bike.
Yeah, that's every bike ever. But I mean, then you have areas. But I mean, the main negative about putting up zones is that's kind of removing the whole point of them, that you can drop them off anywhere and go inside.
Has anyone actually used one of the like rental e-scooter things before?
I've seen friends use them. Like
here.
Just anywhere.
Yeah, quite a bit because for example when I visited Auckland, the public transport is, no offense, quite horrible. And getting around like the CBD was like by far the most convenient with an e-scooter, those rental ones. Also like a lot of Finnish cities make use of them quite a lot. And I just think I think most European cities don't really have them because they've got such dense cores and like pretty good public transport. But,
I think that's an exception in the Nordic countries.
yeah,
though.
that's true. That's true.
Then.
But when I think back to like when we still had those electric scooters in Sweden, like when I look back at the people, like one of my friends used it, it was to get to areas outside the city center or to like cross the city center in a way that buses didn't allow. So I still think they have some use. Like they're there for a reason, and people use them for a reason. Not
But also, there's like people dump them everywhere. I've seen like in Finland places where they're popular. They're just like dumped on like the side of the road, or just like they're always like anywhere. Like people just don't.
It's a
generally
massive
treat
problem for A&E overnight, like emergency rooms, especially weekend nights.
Yeah.
Are getting like in places with lots of e-scooters. They're getting massively burdened with people just crash. I mean, this is the Paris statistics. In 2022, in Paris, 3 deaths and 459 people hurt.
I've heard they're really
e-scooters.
fun to ride when you're drunk, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's alcohol's the problem because like you need a license to drive, but scooters, which unlike bikes, which are self-propelled and you get a bit more like control of what you're doing. On a scooter that's just electrically powered, you just press the button and you zoom into the distance.
And balance isn't really a thing. 'cause
Yeah.
it has two
Can I also
wheels.
just say that in the Netherlands, it is illegal to cycle while drunk, and I should make clear that none of us have ever cycled while drunk.
Not in the Netherlands.
On the German border. No.
Exactly.
I just got a Pride email from Flixbus.
I got that too.
Okay,
Imagine like on an 18-hour Flixbus journey, you are absolutely like boiling alive, can't sleep, and then Taylor Swift starts playing.
Venga Bus.
Benga Bus starts playing.
No? Venga Boys?
Benga Boys, yeah.
Yeah. Lost YouTube.
Yeah.
Dutch music group famous for boom boom boom.
Dutch
I
music
want
might as well just not exist in my.
Yeah, that
Okay,
song.
okay.
I know you're a papa and
You also know like boom boom boom. I want you in my room.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
that's Dutch.
That's Dutch.
Damn.
We like to party. We like to party. That's also Dutch.
Oh.
That's wait. Is that the one where
Also
they're
the worst.
No, that's
ones.
not.
That explains everything.
So
Do you want to get back to micromobility?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on bikes you do feel kind of safe, and it's most bikes have massive wheels, and the bigger your wheels are, the more you have. Like you have the. I don't know what the force is called, but it kind of just keeps you upright. If you have a massive spinning thing, it stays upright. If you have a smaller thing, it just falls over.
If my grandma had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Is that micromobility?
Depends how big your grandma is.
Oh, what the fuck?
Big enough.
I can confirm.
She is in a graveyard. So I don't know what you're doing. But
When I got my Brightspace account for the first time, I thought this will make sense.
Please keep this in.
When I got my Brightspace account for the first time, you know it has the news bulletins. One of the first news items I saw was, please do not overtake funeral sessions.
but they sent it like a week ago.
Oh, again?
Yeah, because people don't listen.
Are they
you guys-
are they on bikes in the Netherlands? Do they like? Is
No, but
No.
on crematorium then,
Yeah, have
obviously
you ever
leads to the
encountered
crematorium.
it?
And they have signs saying, please stop for the cars
Okay.
with black flags.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you say?
Have you guys ever seen like the funeral
I've been in
procession?
them.
You've been in it.
I've had 2 Dutch funerals. Like,
Oh.
Oh,
3.
Oh, I meant like the ones when you're going to campus.
No.
you've been in one.
In the past.
That's right.
I sneak
Leaving
in
the
the...
exam hall just.
No, but I haven't seen them actually on that way.
I've only seen it.
You look like you've been through the casket twice.
Could you use micromobility? Could you use cargo bikes as funeral vehicles?
Ooh.
I'll put it at my funeral. I want to be in a cargo bike.
Must be doable.
Open casket funeral in a cargo bike.
Imagine overtaking me on the bike, just massive smell, just with this insane stench.
because you would be cleaned. Like, the corpse is clean.
No, but it gets sweaty on the bike.
It's so hot out, you don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going down with my bike.
My bike is like a pile of bones, but I still think it's going to outlast me. There's something about them is like, they're just like spiritually so tough as like entities.
Unlike electric scooters.
Exactly.
Half of the ones you see are just broken.
Yes, which speaks, it says a lot about society when...
It's just capitalism.
I mean, yeah, but then I'll hit you.
Cut, okay? End the episode there.
I'll hit you with this question. Would publicly owned electric scooters be good then? If the city just said, we're going to run these...
Like, entirely free.
Would the city be running them with a profit
that's
motive?
Like just any normal... Like the bikes, but then it's the scooters with exactly the same concept. But it's just not a private company.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be a very quick diversion. My opinions on trains.
Famous last words.
Oh, trains.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
Broadly, I do not like the EU's way of privatizing everything. On
Hot
the
take.
other
Hot
hand,
take.
on the other hand, just
Hold
because
on.
something is public, it doesn't mean it's well run.
No.
It
This
probably won't
is
have
the
a
most.
profit.
This is the most lukewarm take I think I've ever heard.
But it should be public.
Yeah,
But just because it's public doesn't mean it's good.
of course not. Yeah,
And I
So-
feel like that's the problem with electric scooters. You could, if you make them public, I think there's a bigger chance of I think there are ways that you could actually fix it if you make them public. But that doesn't. If you just go with the same concept, exactly the same concept, you can leave them on streets and stuff like that. You're not going to solve anything.
Yeah, okay, so the concept of the rental e-scooter is just a concept that's wrong.
So the reason that because I initially, ages ago, asked the question about if anyone had, made the use of these electric scooter rental services, because I never have. Because anytime I see them, I feel like it's kind of like an intimidating process to me. Like, I don't fully understand how to do it, therefore I'm not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Have you been to cities where like it seemed like the most convenient way to get to your destination though, like anywhere?
Not that I can think of, no. I feel like anywhere I've been, I either will walk or take the bus. I feel like those are the
Okay.
two. I feel like I've never really run into a situation where I needed to use an electric scooter.
I feel like actually a somewhat good example of where like e-scooters are useful to a degree is like Auckland, New Zealand. I don't know if any of you have been. It's like I said, horrible public transport, and like obviously there's like some lines and like buses here and there, but like cycling infrastructure isn't great by any means whatsoever. But it's like I'd say above the level of quality that public transport is, just because like they've done recent investments into like bike paths and just like making sure there's at least like some ways you can like slot into traffic without immediately dying, and because of like this generally sprawling distances, like a lot of like attractions or even just like spots of interest around like the inner city of like cities in like Australia or New Zealand generally tend to like just be very sort of conducive to that speed and ease of transport, where you can just sort of get on a bike and go at like a really nice speed, like 15, 20 kilometers an hour, and just sort of like taking on our surroundings without being so slow that you'd be walking 2 hours, and there's like a couple interesting things. So I think like depending on the existing city layouts, there's actually very valid use case for things like e-bikes or e-scooters. But I think as like a long-term solution, they really do not solve anything.
And when you compare e-bikes and e-scooters, I feel like what are the upsides of an e-scooter compared to an e-bike?
They're smaller. I think that's one of the like. If we
Yeah.
ignore rental e-scooters, I think private e-scooters, I've seen them in great use. You can fold them up really easily, put them on your chair on the train, and then use it to get home.
Many would also argue that like e-scooters are just more fun because you just sort of stand there and you go very
Yeah, but
fast.
that's
right?
like, but I keep coming back to the thing that more fun doesn't mean that it's a good idea.
No,
to
no,
have
no.
in
Of
cities.
course not. But to some, that may be an upside, and that's why I think.
Yeah, of course.
It
I mean,
also
that's why
has,
they're
it has
popular.
like market popularity because of it.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm trying to do is make the argument that I think having the ownership of a private e-scooter is very handy, and it's more fun.
I mean,
Long distance, maybe not.
And also, I kind of get your point, though, in the way that, especially if they're privately owned, then you don't have the same problem with, like, people are responsible for their own scooters, so they're less likely to, I don't know, crash them or something, like, do something irresponsible with them.
Drop them on the street and just block up the whole street.
Yeah. Yeah, there might be a point there, but still, for rental e-scooters, I don't think there's. I get their fun, but from an urbanism point of view, I don't think they solve anything that rental bikes, especially e-bikes, don't.
Yeah, and again, the safety issue, as we discussed, like you don't want drunk people on these scooters.
Before the summer, we talked to Luc from EGEA, the European Geography Association. In that discussion, we talked about the history and the structure of EGEA. All of that did not get into the first year episode, so that's why we've added it today. We started with asking what EGEA does.
So, EGEA Groningen organizes a variety of exchanges with other EGEA entities throughout Europe. So there are 90 entities from all over Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, can you elaborate more about the history? Like, where did it come from?
Oh, yeah, of course. So EGEA, like the big organization EGEA, started in 1987. It started with the first 3 entities, which were Warsaw, Utrecht, and Barcelona, and they decided to come together to share European culture and European geographer knowledge with throughout Europe, and it's slowly started to grow. And then 2 years later, EGEA Groningen joined.
Yeah, because you're within IBN, but not really within IBN.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer. So so we're a committee of IBN. We're like it's a marriage as all this time, but we also do our own stuff, and we are part of a bigger organization. So we do stuff for IBN. We make exchanges. The exchanges are for IBN, and also our own events. So we organize the EGEA Groningen quiz for IBN. But then we also have responsibilities for the bigger organization, and there are just certain requirements from them. And we also need to go to the congresses. So EGEA also has huge congresses where they explain or they talk about a certain subject. 2 years ago was Groningen, and we need to vote there as a entity on certain matters that are important for the association. So it's a bit of a weird thing. I'll explain. We're a bit schizophrenic. We're on one side a committee of IBN with responsibilities there, and we also have responsibilities for a big organization. So and we've been trying to work it out this year. We've been really trying to like formalize or talk about how the relationship works inside of IBN, and I think thus far this works quite well. So, but still there are some problems. It can't always go right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you mentioned about the problems that you encounter, but I wonder what it can be.
Well, there's a. So EGEA in some ways functions a bit more as its own thing. So then, who gets to join on the exchanges? So the exchanges. So we organize exchanges to Graz or to Warsaw, and these who gets to join. It's supposed to be open for IBNers, which we've tried to do this year. However, what does it then mean to be in a committee? So we made an arrangement with IBN to just say the committee has presidents, but then the IBNers need to join. But the IBNers are able to join. However, there are not that many spaces, so in the end, not really any IBNer goes.
Wait, so who goes if not IBNers? Just non-members?
Well, us. So the EGEA Groningen are also members of IBN, but the committee goes. Yeah, but it's supposed to be also open for IBNers outside of us.
But also others, like non-members, or not really?
Yeah, and that's where also another difficult part comes. So EGEA Groningen also has its own members, and some of them, and it's possible that those members are not part of IBN, but we are a committee of IBN.
That's really confusing.
Yeah.
Wait, but so you said you go to exchange, and when do you go there? Which time of the year?
Any time of the year. Yeah. So the committee year is from October to October inside of IBN, and then the contact person, how it works. The contact persons reach out to an entity, and they say oh, are you interested in exchange? Oh yeah, let's do it. And then we start to talk about dates and oh, that works. And then eventually we come to a date, and then you either go to them or they come here, and then and then you can have some fun, talk about geography and stuff.
Yeah, I thought it comes like simultaneously, no? So you come there and they come here, or
there are two parts to an exchange.
Uh-huh.
So first you go somewhere, and then the later date they come here, or otherwise. So first they come here and then you go there. So like right now we've done the first part with Göttingen and Graz. So we've been to Graz and Göttingen has been here, and now we're discussing with them when we should do the second part, as it were. Yeah.
We also asked Luc what EGEA is up to this coming year.
So I won't be part of EGEA probably anymore next year. There's gonna be a next committee, and then I've already been doing it for 2 years. So definitely there are two big things that still need to happen, and we hope that the next EGEA is going to do that, which is when we have Graz here. So then we show the city to Graz, and everyone's free to join on that. That's just
really?
If you're part of EGEA, and like EGEA will if you follow us on Instagram, you will see when they will all be here, and then everyone who wants to join on that can be free to join.
even if you're not part.
Yeah, well, technically you should, but if you just want to join, it's also fine. Yeah, but and also when we go to Göttingen, that's also a big thing that's going to happen somewhere next year. So like between this October and October 2026. But like those specific dates will not be up to us. Maybe we can make some first steps, but it will definitely be like the new committee is going to organize that. So if you're like interested in joining EGEA, you can definitely and you can help organizing that and talk to some very lovely people. I can tell they're great people. And also there's gonna be like every year in EGEA, there's going to be the Western Regional Congress, the Northern Regional Congress, and the Southeastern Regional Congress. And that's something that's outside of the EGEA Groningen Committee. But if you're just part of EGEA generally, you can participate in those congresses and go to very exotic, nice European places and learn a very specific geography-related subject. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun that you joined. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here. Well, my first podcast. Hopefully you guys had fun.
It was really
Thank you for listening to our banter. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next month with a new episode.